Has the NBA regular season become less exciting to watch than in years past?
Ooh.
If so, when did you notice, and why has it become less exciting?
I think it stopped being fun for me when they stopped using the old finals logo.
What?
That is
Something as simple as
That is
that.
the most random answer.
No,
Oh.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Growing up as a little kid in middle school and high school, I'd
Okay.
watched a good amount of basketball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because football was really not at a point at where it was right now. Also, soccer, same thing. But I watched a lot of basketball. Knicks too, still do. I think, if I'm being honest, the regular season does not excite me as much as it does.
Okay.
Knicks basketball does, because I'm a Knicks fan.
Right.
But
Right.
I am not watching national TV games
Right. Right.
anymore.
But you used to.
Correct.
And when did you notice that you stopped doing that? Like, what year was
I
it?
think once I saw the greats that we grew up with retire, which is Dirk, Wade, Bosh, LeBron, well, still around, Carmelo, KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rondo, Dwight Howard, Kobe. I can go on and on.
Yeah, all the early 2000s players.
Those
Right.
guys I grew up with. Basketball was fun. Everything was great.
Right.
Good stories. Now we're in a new generation. Not saying it's bad, but it's not what I grew up with.
Okay.
I think that's the nostalgia part of
Right.
just me saying why it's not fun for me.
Right.
But it is still fun watching. But I also wanted to acknowledge that refereeing has ruined it.
Oh wow. That's a big statement.
I think back in the day, there was nothing. That could because social media was not as prominent as it was now. Twitter was around. There was no Instagram. There's no TikTok. No Snapchat. Facebook was just getting started. Twitter was kind of at a point where it was on smartphones, but not as accessible as it is now. But I don't think back in the day you had as much conversation on media television about refereeing
Yeah.
as you do now.
Yeah.
I think that has kind of tampered with how or tarnished how the game is played. Also, sports betting, I think, is a big part. We see the betting scandals, but we haven't seen players that prominent get in trouble with
Right.
it. Also,
Do you think it has anything to do with the play style of the guys that you used to watch growing up compared to the play style that you see today? Does that have anything to do with the excitement of the game for you?
I think it does. I think a lot of the guys, I don't want to speak for the NBA players, but I feel like guys that are paid a lot of money do not show as much passion playing on a bad team.
Okay.
Now, that could just be me being completely wrong or just completely right. I don't know. But, you know, when I saw Julius Randle on the Knicks when he got his Supermax the year after, he did not play like he did the year before because he got his money.
You think that's what it is?
I think once
Players
they,
get
once,
their
once
money.
they get their money, they
Satisfied.
do nothing else to do.
Okay.
You know, if you know you're on a team where you're not going to win a championship,
Right.
go out there, put your stats
Right.
up, and that's it. Call it a
Okay.
day.
Well, Tyler, I want to hear what you think. If you want me to repeat the question, let me know. I could.
if you want to just
Yeah. So the question is, has the NBA regular season become less exciting to watch than in years past? If so, when did you notice that? And why has it become less exciting?
Right. I think it's become way less exciting
Okay.
over the years. I mean, I think just in general, too, the fact that they had to, it's one thing to introduce a new concept because you want to, like the in-season tournament, but the main reason why it was added was to bring more value back to the regular season. I started noticing this a few years ago. I think there's two main reasons to me as to why. I think the first one is fucking load management.
Interesting.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's just like NBA tickets in general have become so much more expensive nowadays, and you know, it's,
I'm going to piggyback. You want to?
let me continue first.
Go ahead.
then you
I'll
can bounce
piggyback off of what he said with load management.
It's like it's very rare to see a star player play on the road at this point anymore. Like if you want to go see LeBron play and you live in Atlanta, and he comes in and he's just not playing because he doesn't feel like it. Like, that's just, what's the point? It's just like, there are so many regular season games where the teams aren't at full strength when they easily could be. And I just think you look at what Jimmy Butler does. He just takes the regular season off. He just chills and just shows up in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, the teams that pay attention in the regular season are the ones that do well in the playoffs. You can't be slacking off in the regular season.
According to advanced statistics, it's actually the teams that have rested their players the most during the regular season end up having the most playoff success.
Right.
So if you look at like the Spurs from like, Tim Duncan's time, but later on in his career, he would rest a whole lot. Popovich would have those guys because they were getting older. They would be resting so much during the regular season, but they would still win like 60 games during the regular season.
Well, yeah.
And then going into the playoffs, they were fully ready to go because they had all that rest during the regular season, and it produced championships.
Look at the past two champions.
Yeah.
Locked up the 1 seed so early because they took the regular season seriously, and they were able to rest their guys and be prepared to go on a run because, a lot of times teams will get hot at the wrong time and you cool off by the time you get to the playoffs.
Right.
So that happens a lot. And I think just load management in general is just like stars. It's clear stars don't care about the regular season. Otherwise, they'd be playing every night. That's why I respect like Kevon Looney and Mikal Bridges and those guys. They suit up every night.
Yeah.
They don't want to miss games. I think availability is so important and it just keeps you in that rhythm. Yeah. And,
don't forget Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Respect that man.
Can't forget Russell Westbrook.
He plays every night like he doesn't have a supermax contract already. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Availability is the best ability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not as big of to me, that's not the biggest reason why, though. And ironically enough, the biggest reason why is social media.
Oh, interesting.
Social media, just as simple as someone having a massive night in a game, 50-point game on 90% from the field, do it in the playoffs.
Right.
Still a second-round merchant, do it in the playoffs.
Okay.
Or, oh, he's trash, do it in the
Okay.
That essentially, what's the point then? You know what I mean? It's different when it's just it's different when it's a playoff game. But if someone has a career night,
enjoy that.
Enjoy it. Give them their praise.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get those kind of nights in the playoffs anymore. This isn't the Michael Jordan days where he's the only good player in the league. The league is uber talented. Most of these teams are very, very stacked.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, the possessions, even still, you look at the play styles. The possessions slow down.
Yeah.
The defense is way better. The calls aren't as bad. I do agree with you, Antoine, in the sense that refs play a part as well because they give these soft calls in the regular season. But I think in the regular season, there's just everyone's so hyper-fixated on not getting injured. And at the same time, no one cares about the regular season. They just care about the postseason. Then, at the end of the day, then why do we even have the regular season?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's almost kind of what it is.